or block work, Eagle should be your first call. They can even help if your property needs grading, erosion control, and Eagle can handle dirt haul-off. Call Eagle Masonry and Insulation today at 256-755-1556. Eagle saves you time, and Eagle saves you money.
Tom Abraham here from my friend Ross Roberts and his team at Valley Equipment Rental, and they have a brand new product for you. If you happen to be standing on a concrete or tile floor, Valley Equipment has the perfect cleaning solution for you. Whether it's new construction, daily work areas, or an area that's been neglected for too long, the Valley Equipment team of experienced professionals can help you choose the right floor scrubber or sweeper for your needs. Valley even has the right cleaning products for the job. Call Valley Equipment Rental today to learn more. Make a clean sweep with Valley Equipment Rental.
There's power in caring when it is put into action. Each year, our bankers serve on nonprofit boards, support our local educators, and volunteer with our hometown food bank. I'm Bobby Humphrey, Vice President of Business Development for Bryan Bank, and community service is just not a line item in our mission statement. It's who we are. Because, after all, Alabama is our home, too. That kind of commitment to community might not be what you would expect from a bank, but it's exactly what you can expect from us. Give us a call or stop by one of our 2 offices in the Huntsville area and experience unbeatable service and legendary results.
Bryan Bank Equal Housing Lender, NMLS ID 2428943, member FDIC.
Looking for your next great round of golf? Take the short drive from the Tennessee Valley to the Bear Trace at Tim's Ford in Winchester. This spectacular Jack Nicklaus designed 18-hole course sits along scenic Tim's Ford Lake, featuring rolling fairways, challenging greens, and lake views that'll make the trip well worth it. Whether you're planning a weekly foursome, a company outing, or just sneaking in around, Bear Trace offers one of the best public golf experiences in the region. Book your tee time today at dnstateparks.com and play the Bear Trace at Tim's Ford.
The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton. Weekdays from 5 to 7 p.m. Only on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. WZZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. 97.7 ESPN The Zone. This hour of The Drive is brought to you by Lynn Leighton Ford, located online at lynnleightonford.com. Welcome to The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton. Call into the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline, 256-576-4977.
That's how I roll. And I'm not going to drink and drive anymore.
That's 256-576-4977. Now, here's Wes and Steve.
It is a Tuesday edition of The Drive. If you're stuck in traffic, I know exactly what you feel like. What in the world is going on in downtown Huntsville? Just going out and about. I didn't realize 4 o'clock was the cutoff time. You need to be where you need to be by 4 o'clock. So we appreciate.
Where was this?
Downtown. Just on the.
Oh, like they're at church? Like
the downtown connector. The downtown connector. It's a mess. It's a mess.
They had it all tore up last night. Of course, it was also extra complicated because they had movies in the park.
Oh, did they?
And had food trucks and stuff everywhere. I was coming out of the Publix downtown and made a left turn and regretted it. Traffic talk on 97.7.
It made me want to talk like Josh Heupel. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, he made it very abundantly clear what he thought about the ruling by Arian Carter to the NCAA being suspended initially for 3 games, but now for 2 games. Josh Heupel, this is what he said earlier today.
He's done everything the right way. You ask anybody inside of our program, that staff and players, he is the leader of this program, and he's earned the right to be the leader of this program. The ruling that came out from the NCAA, the 2-game suspension, I truly believe is bullshit. You look at the landscape of college football, the rules from NIL, everything. I think the ruling is completely outdated and disappointed for him and for us in the result of that ruling. AC at the end of last year had to make a choice. He chose to put his name in the NFL draft process at the end of or middle of January, late, right before the deadline, where you have to make a final declaration. He found out that he needed a medical procedure. It was going to require surgery. He made the choice, and the right choice for him, to come back to college football. He was upfront and honest. The fact that he paid back the $400 flight. He's done everything, handled everything the right way. Very truthful and upfront about everything. And I think it's unfortunate that a young man that, again, represents everything inside of this game the right way, is faced with that ruling. So.
That was Josh Heupel earlier today.
Agree with him 100%.
Yeah, it's there was a part of me when that first came out. I think that was a week ago, 2 weeks ago, somewhere in that neighborhood.
Did it have to be something else?
Where I thought it was an Onion story. I really did. I thought it was a made up fake story, but no, it's real. Arian Carter is sitting out for 2 games. Even though he paid back the money for the airplane ticket, which was deemed as an extra benefit. Ridiculous. Also heard from Auburn head coach Alex Golesh today as the first-year head coach. Who stood out? There was a scrimmage that took place down on the Plains. Who stood out, Coach?
Yeah, Justin, the one guy that stood out today was Brian Williams. And you talk about a guy that Cody Burns is as excited about Brian as anybody. And we kind of keep going back and forth. I'm like, man, he has these freshman moments, and it's when it gets hard and he gets punched in the face and he's got to snap out of it. And Cody keeps challenging him and challenging him and challenging him. And Cody has a really unique way of building guys up and making them really confident. That's Cody does that for me. And today I thought Brian took a step. He's had some highs. He's had some really bad lows, but they've all been mental in terms of the lows, like tired, beat up. How do you respond, man? And he's trying to get him to go from a senior at TFA to a guy in this league. And today I thought he took a step.
That's a little bit of Alex Golesh. He was also on hand today was Gus Malzahn. And
better watch it. He'll get your job.
Yeah. You know what? I really met him when he was at UCF and I was at USF, and you never really run into each other in recruiting and clinics and all that. USF, UCF, you're supposed to hate each other, so we wouldn't talk in public or anything. But I've always respected, he's from the same place that my wife is from. He's revered in Northwest Arkansas in a lot of ways, and so for me, just a guy that's done it at a high level. I'm excited. For me, I got no ego in this thing, man. If there's somebody that's been there, done that, and had success, I am all ears. I just asked him for his notes from the scrimmage. If I got a guy living down the street that has time, one, I'm super jealous. He's like, man, it's going to be between the lake and here, Coach. Yeah, I know, Gus. Eventually, I'll get there too, but he, to have a wealth of knowledge like that, and for him to be willing to give up his time, I'm telling you, he loves this place. This place, however it all shook out, he is so grateful for what this place meant to him and still does. So I'm going to use every resource I possibly can, and I've reached out to every single person that's coached here that's willing to help and lend an ear, if nothing else. But Gus knows more football. He's forgotten more football than I know, so I'm going to take every bit of it.
So hopefully he won't get to the lake too soon, because there are a lot of retired coaches.
Does he know that he's on the committee, the CFP committee? He's in theory doing some other stuff. Maybe I misread that where Gus Malzahn isn't on the CFP committee, but I'm pretty sure he's on the CFP committee. Had that conversation with Rich Clark about Gus. Going to try to get the old Gus Bus on here in the next couple of weeks. Working on that. See how that shakes out. The 5-for-5 judge ruling has shaken things up a little bit. So the problem is the calendar. Most of the portal that you had to declare that you were in back in January have tried out for NFL squads. So about 93%, this according to CBS Sports, 93% of the portal is gone. So slim pickings in the portal, but it was something asked to Josh Heupel about the judge ruling, the 5-for-5 ruling, on the players that still have eligibility deemed in 5-for-5 land.
Josh, you referenced that other ruling. Is there any possibility of you exploring adding one of these 5-for-5 players if they're eligible and making that kind of addition to the roster at this point?
Yeah, in exploration, some of the details and what it's all going to look like still is being worked through, but looking at those things.
So I also heard Ryan Silverfield, who is the head coach at Arkansas, he mentioned a couple of track athletes that were on campus in Fayetteville that are putting on football gear this fall for Ryan Silverfield in his first year. And on the subject of...
There are not many track athletes that can stand the test of time. I think there's only one. I think it was
Willie Gault. Willie Gault?
Willie Gault was a football player that ran track.
Okay.
There's a difference.
Bullet Bob Hayes, is that who you're thinking of?
No, I'm thinking of Ronaldo Nehemiah, who had a little thing at San Francisco, and he was a true track athlete that became a football player.
So we will talk to David Basil.
You don't even remember him, do you?
I don't.
He played for San Francisco 49ers.
When was this?
In the early 80s.
Okay, that's probably why I don't remember. Although I do remember Bullet Bob Hayes. That was one of the more legendary stories of Tex Schramm trying to inject some speed into the old Dallas Cowboys back in the day. So we will talk to David Basil.
Well, the rules are better now than they used to be for guys going over the middle. And that was
those were head hunting days.
Yes.
So also coming up in hour number 2. Now I spoke with him earlier this afternoon because he's got a game to call, but I could tell Ben Ingram, the voice of the Atlanta Braves, was a tad testy. He was, because I did mention the words dollar and tree. Although I will tell you, the Braves are up 7.5 games in the division. And at least when you take a look at the calendar for the Atlanta Braves, to me, money time is a month from now. And that is when they get to play Philadelphia 7 times, I believe. And so let's see how things shake out in a month for the Atlanta Braves, but they have at least set themselves up in a big way to potentially make a run, but I'm not sure the starting rotation is where it needs to be to get past multiple rounds in the month of October. But your brother chimed in, Paul Warfield, on that. Was he not a track athlete?
I don't know, but he was a football player. He's a different guy. Ronaldo Nehemiah was a track athlete that played in the NFL. I don't even think he played in college.
So early 80s. This is Bill Walsh bringing in.
I don't remember who the coach was. I saw him play. They were really good. I watched the Dolphins play in 1981, and he was on the roster. I remember that like it was yesterday.
Camp opens up tomorrow in Tuscaloosa. We'll dive into that conversation. And one thing that I am trying to get into, in fact, I reached out to the SEC office. There was one coach I heard, and it was Ryan Silverfield, mention that they are not at the 105 scholarship maximum, that there is a little bit of wiggle room. I'm trying to get hard numbers on exactly how many scholarship players are on each SEC team heading into this fall camp. And I don't know the answer to that question yet. So hopefully I'll have that for you tomorrow here.
I know Alabama signed a junior college guy today, or he reported count. They might have signed him earlier. So a guy to play defensive tackles underside, they're going to put him at defensive end. So stuff still is happening all around the league.
Indiana, the defending national champions, who are not playing Notre Dame anytime soon. Star defensive lineman Stephen Daly. He is returning for his 5th year. This is after the court ruling. So Indiana has benefited off of this latest court ruling, off of someone who was still in the portal and just, I guess, hoping for an opportunity. It is amazing how many kids want to just stay in college.
Well,
I know.
Well, obviously, reason why they get paid.
Job.
Why wouldn't you?
It's great when someone else is paying for it.
It is. It really
just
is.
Someone else, they're actually paying you to stay in school.
In a big way.
Yeah, so
I'm sure it's a big payday for Stephen Daly to return for a 5th season of eligibility. This according to On3. So that's why when I kept hearing the initials DSA, designated student athlete, for those that don't know. I'm starting to hear more and more about DSA. Are they declared DSA heading into fall camp? So I'll try to get those numbers and see how the rosters stack out at Auburn and Alabama, specifically, coming up tomorrow. We'll talk a little Hogs as well as the state of the conference. That is someone who brought in John Daly on the last day of SEC Media Days. My glasses were fogged up when I got out of our vehicle, because it was the last day, because we drove our vehicle to the hotel at the Marriott. And my glasses were fogged up, even though you supposedly have anti-fog. Dad, don't get me started. All of a sudden, I see the beard. I just see a beard going like halfway down his torso. Is that John Daly? And all I said was, is that John Daly? My wife tells me my voice carries. And he said, yep, sure is, son. Answered my question. But he was there to...
Steve Moulton is brush with greatness.
Yes. No, he was basically there to be along Radio Row. And he had his credential and everything, but was right along Radio Row with our next guest. And that is David Basil. And he is set to join us on the other side here on this Tuesday edition of The Drive.
You're listening to The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Tom Abraham here for my good friend Bobby White at Lynn Leighton Ford, where you never find some mysterious dock fee that can be like $600, $700, or $800. A dock fee is an add-on that some dealers will charge just to do the paperwork on your deal. Now, Wes and I just bought F-150s at Lynn Leighton, and we're amazed at the ease of getting the deal done. Transparency is important in buying these days, and that's what you get at Lynn Leighton Ford in Decatur. Lynn Leighton offers an extensive new and pre-owned inventory, as well as lease specials, finance options, and expert auto service. They are dedicated to providing exceptional customer service and are an integral part of our community. Believe me, it is worth the short ride over to Decatur to see what Lynn Leighton Ford has to offer, just a mile west of the Beltline on 6th. At Lynn Leighton, there are no mystery fees, just great prices. It's the Lynn Leighton way. We made the move, and so should you, to Lynn Leighton Ford.
The company is Eagle Masonry and Insulation, but did you know they're also Eagle Landscaping and Dirt Work? Eagle can take care of all your landscaping needs, including irrigation, sod work, and planting, both plants and trees. On the dirt work side, Eagle can grade and build your pads, haul dirt in or out, and even do erosion control. Philip Love and his team can do it all for you. The website is the same, insulatewitheagle.com, as is the phone number, 256-755-1556. Give them a call and see what Eagle can do for you. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
Welcome to Southern Wagyu Steakhouse and Meat Market in Huntsville. From hand-cut premium steaks and chef-crafted Southern favorites to phenomenal made-from-scratch desserts and restaurant-quality meats you can take home. Every meal is made with passion and served with genuine Southern hospitality. Join us for lunch or dinner. Attend a monthly 5-course supper club or stop by to stock up your grill. You'll see that we deliver excellence from prep to plate. Southern Wagyu Steakhouse and Meat Market, corner of Highway 72 East and Jordan Road. Come taste the difference.
You've been paying on that life insurance policy for years, but maybe you don't really need it anymore, or it's gotten a bit too expensive. Well, before you just let it expire, let Neighbors Insurance Solutions share with you some alternatives that you haven't considered. Don't throw away something that still may have great value for you. If you want to learn more about what Neighbors Insurance Solutions can do for you, call 256-763-7693. A death benefit could be a life benefit. Learn more at 256-763-7693.
Tom Abraham here from my friend Ross Roberts and his team at Valley Equipment Rental, and they have a brand new product for you. If you happen to be standing on a concrete or tile floor, Valley Equipment has the perfect cleaning solution for you. Whether it's new construction, daily work areas, or an area that's been neglected for too long, the Valley Equipment team of experienced professionals can help you choose the right floor scrubber or sweeper for your needs. Valley even has the right cleaning products for the job. Call Valley Equipment Rental today to learn more. Make a clean sweep with Valley Equipment Rental.
The LG software team brings you Bamboo HR. Bamboo streamlines everything from hiring to offboarding and eliminating manual HR tasks.
With Bamboo, our customers have saved time, stay organized, and keep employees happier with a seamless HR experience.
This is unique to Huntsville and Birmingham, and I urge you to ask about it.
Just ask anyone.
Talking Ball with Scott Tyson and Drew DeArmond. Weekday mornings beginning at 7 a.m. Only on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Voice of the Atlanta Braves, Ben Ingram, is going to join us in hour number 2, a conversation that I had earlier this afternoon on the glorious fines for the Atlanta Braves on the trade deadline yesterday. Braves still hold a 7.5 game lead over the Filthies as they open up a series tonight in Cobb County against the Fish. Although we are walking you up to first place, Trash Panda Baseball.
That's right.
Rocket City in first place in the North Division in the Southern League.
It's Jimothy night at Toyota Field.
Jimothy night.
Yes. I forget what zoo, but there's a raccoon with a birth defect. So now everything raccoon related.
I felt
you
like
you get to dress like a raccoon and you get to dance with Sprocket at the field.
So Josh Carey will have that play-by-play call. You can listen to the entire game.
He sold it harder than I thought he would. He did a good job with it.
Over on Talk Radio WZZN, and we will join it in progress as soon as we are done with Ben Ingram in hour number 2. Always fun to talk to our next guest, who just brings in the celebrities left and right along SEC Digital Drive. It's no longer Radio Row. David Basil from the Natural State joins us. What do you say, Baz? How are you?
Steve, what's up, buddy? Good to see you down in Tampa. Don't know why in the heck we were down there, but it was fun. And, yeah, I had to bring out the big guns. You know, nobody wants to talk to anybody from Arkansas. Arkansas's picked 16th and everything. Everybody just assume we not even be there. So I thought I got to bring out the big guns. And I love seeing the expression on people's faces. Is that John Daly? Is that John Daly? What's he doing here?
So does he live down there? Is that
Yeah,
okay?
Yeah, he does. He lives in Clearwater, which is about 20 minutes north, 15, 20 minutes north. And he and his girlfriend have had a home down there for probably the last 10, 15 years. And he's down there with Gruden. We got Gruden on the phone, and Gruden was a mess. And yeah, that beard. Only John Daly. John Daly is so big. I mean, his personality and his star power is so big. He's the only guy that can walk up to Saban. Saban's they're live doing a shot.
Mm-hmm.
He just sticks, pokes him in the back, and Saban sort of turns around like, "Who the heck's doing that to me?" And hey.
Not many people get away with that. 100%.
No. And it's funny. The other thing about that is that as he's walking up and down, he stayed with me for probably 3.5 hours. He did basically our whole show together. We have him on each week. We've had him on every Tuesday for the last 2-3 years. We've got him sponsored, and he and I were classmates. He was a freshman when I was a senior at Arkansas, so we go back a long way. But what's so funny is that people would come up, up and down the media folks and say, "Hey, Bobby, do you mind if we do a picture together?" I mean, I'm telling you, and you don't do that to Saban. Saban's not approachable. You don't do that to some people, but everybody's not afraid to go up to John because he's so, amicable, so nice, and John takes a picture with every single one. Of course, he had to take a smoke break every 20 minutes, and that's a true story. He had to say, "Okay, so I got to go take a smoke break."
Well, you had that ledge right behind you. You could just, anyway.
He did, but he loves the Razorbacks. He supports them. Of course, his son just finished up as a golfer, junior, John Daly Jr., and he's on the pro tour now. And so
nice.
And I don't know. It's a miracle he's still alive because he runs so hard. Every day he's at an appearance because he makes a living. He's got endorsements. He's doing movies, and it's just.
I see him on commercials all over the place.
Oh yeah, you bet. And so his star power again. He did the Adam Sandler movie, Happy Gilmore 2.
Yep.
Had a role in that, pretty good role in that, and he's just and there's nobody that he doesn't know or that don't know him. I mean he crosses all boundaries, non-sports, sports. Hollywood types. It's an amazing story of a small town kid that made it big, and he's not for everybody. Some people don't like how wild and crazy he is, but I'll tell you, he'll get the shirt off your back. Always raises money for charity. Always is nice, and so.
So what was he like in college?
Well, back then, there nobody knew who John Daly was, and matter of fact, he had lost weight. I remember, I was a senior. And he got skinny, and I think, in memory serves me right, he was heavy, and he wanted to lose weight, and so he had a decent college career. He didn't have a great college career, and then he, of course, that's the whole thing. He won that first PGA Tour was he was an extra, to get in, like the 11th alternate, whatever, to get in, and then he wins those 2 majors, and he's like us. He's just he doesn't practice like he should. Even when he played, he would just get out there and just. Hit, what are you going to grip it and rip it?
Mm-hmm.
And that's the way most people want to play golf. And so he related to so many people. But yeah, I only got with him 1 year, but yeah, obviously we stayed in touch all these years, and he's a fun guy to be around. We've done a ton of shows together. He's got a golf course in little Dardanelle, Arkansas. So, but yeah, it was just funny watching the reaction, guys. Like five bombs in the middle of a hit, and he turns around like, hey, it's John Daly. I mean, you just say, okay. It was funny to watch.
It was turned into one of my favorite moments because I went into the main room and I was a couple of rows behind George Somerville, who covers college football for Scotland in the UK. And when I said, you may want to poke your head out there. And sure enough, when he did, I mean, he came back in thinking that it was Elvis or just everybody come. Yeah, golf's a little bit of a big deal, I'm guessing, over there in Scotland.
Isn't that funny? Isn't that funny? Yeah, he's a rock star. He's a rock star over there. But listen, that's what we had to do to get some attention on Radio Row with the Razorbacks.
Oh, come on, Baz.
So, you look at since since what were the last 2 before
Chad Morris? Yeah, you thinking Chad Morris?
Brett Bielema?
No, what I'm saying is before Texas and Oklahoma, when Texas A&M, since Texas A&M and who was the other one that joined then?
Missouri.
Missouri joined the conference. Arkansas has the worst record football-wise in the conference.
Say that again, Wes.
Since Texas A&M and Missouri joined the conference, Arkansas has the worst record in the conference in football.
That's accurate. Think about this. I've been doing this now where I go to every game home and away. I've done it for 14 years in a row. I got all 5 Bielema years. I got the 2 Chad Morris Nightmares and the 6 Sam Pittmans. It's the worst era in the history of Razorback football in the 100+ years. It's the worst win-loss record. We've literally, think about this. In 8 years, we've had 3, not 1, not 2, but 3 2-10 seasons. I mean, it's really been just brutal. And, it's just...
Coming off of a 2-10 season.
What's that?
You're coming off of a 2-10 season.
Yeah, coming off of that, you think about what made it worse. Last year we had 7 games that we were within it to score.
Well, you should have beat Ole Miss. You had
had the chance.
Memphis was a horror story. I mean, that game was truly
over.
Yeah. So
it's frustrating, and then then the whole coaches search and who you thought you were going to get, and it was. But it is what it is, and now you've got this huge money issue that you would think Arkansas with his placement in Northwest Arkansas would be fine, and basketball looks like everything's fine there, but we're behind the 8 ball trying to raise the money to keep up with the Joneses there, and so. If you look at the roster, you just see a lot of players that that you could afford, and you probably didn't get the big ones that went to the bigger schools. And so, the one thing you got to look at this year that all I want to see, I don't just show me great effort, which we haven't had. We've literally have not had great effort, and show me less mental mistakes, show me better football IQ, and that's a start. That's something that you can build on, and that you can sometimes win close games against better competition when you have those elements,
So I was listening to Coach Silverfield, I believe it was yesterday, and he mentioned about a couple of track athletes hopping on the roster, and I heard the discussion as well of after this judge's ruling. I know the portal is pretty thin right now, but it sounds like they're going after some kids in the portal that are still there.
Well, I heard him say that too. I think every coach is trying to figure out, hey, what's going to work, what's not going to work. Here we are, August 4th. Is it we're trying to make this work and get somebody in? Yeah, and I saw those track guys, and that's fine. It's just almost at this point. I'll tell you, for Arkansas, you get 70 new faces, 60 or 70, which there's some other teams like that. I'm going up tomorrow to watch the first practice just to see if I can, recognize a handful of names because they're all new faces and all transfers. And so I don't know. Again, there's just a lot of question marks on this team, and that, spring, it's hard to see when you're practicing against each other. And, of course, you have a quarterback situation where he still has not named the starter, even though I think KJ Jackson is probably going to be the guy. And A.J. Hill will be the backup. But the thing about it, I don't like about that, I'd rather have the starter name and let him be your guy throughout camp. But they're going to do this way for, I guess, the opening week or two of practice.
Well, what's the biggest difference between KJ and A.J.?
Well, they're both similar. They're both big physical runners, and I think they really like Jackson. If you remember when they named him, they named Silverfield the coach. There were 2 guys there at the press conference. It was Quincy Rose Jr. and KJ Jackson, and both of those guys. It was important, I think, at that time to retain them because not everybody was excited about the hire, and those 2 were the best players coming back that they had, and they announced right there those 2 were coming back. So they paid money. They probably paid $1 million for Quincy. And they probably paid, $700,000 for KJ Jackson. So they got money in him, and I think he's more polished. I think A.J. Hill is a little bit more raw. He's big, he's bigger, physical, and like I said, they're similar in their physical abilities. But I think Jackson is more comfortable. I don't think I hated about last year under Petrino, which I never have understood. They just did not give him many reps. We were losing games and we were in close games, and I said, why don't you just go ahead and put him in and give him some reps? But he just got very few reps last year. But let me tell you, I was impressed with some of the things I've seen him do. But I don't think there's a huge difference. I just think the command of the game is a little bit better, and there's a little bit more experience with Jackson.
So what happened with Petrino? Because I know everybody wanted to give him a second chance because of his success at Arkansas. He just didn't win any games. Is that what happened?
No, that was it. Yeah, Wes. If he wins just 1 or 2 games, he's the head coach. I mean, there were people that were ready to make that, and he just could not win 1 game. If he just wins 1 or 2 of those close games, he's probably the head coach. But when he just couldn't win any of them, Sam Pittman's over there going, okay, you got rid of me. I was losing the same close games. And the same things happened with Petrino, and so that was it. I think a lot of the fan base would have been fine with him getting the job. They just could not win a close game for the life, of me to get it done. They just couldn't do it.
Sam, Sam left it better than he found it, but it was a real mess when he found it. But how are fans remembering the Pittman era in Fayetteville?
I think most of them like Sam. He's a likable guy, and I think they feel like he got us out of the mud that Chad Morris left us in. Those were 2 back-to-back 2-10 seasons. So, he got us out of that. He won those 3 conference games the COVID year, which we had not won a conference game in 3 years, 3 years. And so that was a big step. And then, the second year he gets us to Tampa and the Outback Bowl and beats Penn State and win 9 games and thinking, okay. And then he signs a new deal. It wasn't about the money, and then it was about the money. He dumps his agent that he had who helped get him the job, and he signs with Jimmy Sexton and gets him his contract and went downhill really sort of from there. And, he's a good guy. I like him, and I think he's a good coach. But I don't think he was built to keep up with what's going on now. Remember when he got the job, NIL and transfer portal, all that wasn't a thing. It was, that was just coming on the scene. So I don't think he was equipped for that. He's our age, and well, Steve, I don't know how old you are, and I'm older than Wes. I'm older than Wes. Maybe I should say he's my age, and you guys are younger than me. But sorry about that. But yeah, I think he just, hey, I need to tap out of here. And but listen, I think wherever he goes, I've done several events here. I MC a lot of things, and I've recognized him, and he's gotten an unbelievable response. So everybody, I think, appreciates it. Now, it's so funny. There's been some debate. Did he leave it better than where you found it? I think, probably from Chad Morris, there's no question. But boy, he walks out on a 2-10 season, even though they were close. They were close. They were, and so at least the program was better than it was with Chad Morris. But you still basically wipe out everything, and you're starting from scratch almost. You got a brand new team, and but yeah, he was a likable character. Just the timing, I think, was off with what happened with NIL and transfer portal with him.
It really doesn't matter now. Who do you think was the splash hire because you act like they were kind of disappointed in the hire. So a lot of people were.
Yeah, that's a good question, Wes. Let me go back real quick too and say that on Sam too. Yes, I think the majority of the people feel like Sam did the best he could, and the other part was Sam, and the 100-year check said, I didn't give him enough money. I didn't give him enough funds to compete. So I remember him sharing stories. Hey, I can't, sort of what I'm sure that Ryan Silverfield is saying now, I can't beat Texas. I can't beat A&M with the money. I can't beat Auburn. They're outbidding me. So he had that against him too. So that's this day and age, you can certainly throw that out there as one of the reasons for you didn't have success. On the coaches thing, I think what happened was is that you had those 3 guys out of the AAC. And, you heard Golish. We had a good buddy of mine that I traveled the games with, Trey Shappen, reported that Golish was coming to Arkansas. And I think Golish is a little bit more shinier than because he was coming from South Florida. He'd been at Tennessee, was a Broyles Award finalist at Tennessee. And I think he was a little bit more shiny. And, and Silverfield was probably the third of the choice. Of course, you knew you weren't going to get Summerall. He had the first choice. And so I just think probably the perception was that Silverfield was maybe third on that. Now, the funny stat that that Silverfield threw out and everybody uses in their football notes is that he was 5-1.
Yeah,
5-1 against those guys, 6-2 against Power 4 teams, and that's it. If people are going to look at who I am and you don't think I'm good enough, let's look at the record. He goes down there. It was crazy. That second year he's at Memphis, or third. he goes down and goes up against his old boss, Mike Norvell, at Florida State, beats Florida State at Tallahassee in like year 2 or 3. So, I mean, I think he beat Mississippi State. He beat Arkansas last year. I mean, so he's, last year he stumbled at the end. That's another thing too, Wes, is he lost the last 4 or 5 games in a row. I've seen that pattern before. I think he knew that, hey, this was going to be my year. They started out 5-0. They beat Arkansas.
Right.
They ranked top 20, top 25. They go in there and somehow lose to a horrible UAB team who just fired, their head coach, and Moulton came in there. Remember that? Memphis was top 25. I mean, how in the world did Memphis lose that game to that UAB team? You got to give UAB credit, but anyway, I think he got distracted those last 4 games, and he knew he was. I've just seen that before. The other schools, the other coaches. You get distracted, your assistants are looking around, and they lose 4 or 5 in a row. So I think that took a little steam off him as the hire too. But I saw him play against us. I remember sitting up in the press box with some buddies and going, "Listen, that defense. That's how I want Arkansas's defense to play. The defense for Memphis had more effort, was more sound in that second half that shut Arkansas down." And more sound than what Arkansas was. So I remember thinking to myself, they look better coached than we do.
So maybe Sam didn't leave it better than
but Arkansas should have won that game. They had the ball.
No question. They get down to their 20. They're down to the 20.
Yeah, and the guy fumbles. Yeah.
Yep.
Same against Ole Miss. You're undefeated if you don't fumble those 2 balls. And you're going to play Notre Dame at home. Now, you're not going to beat Notre Dame. Notre Dame was way too good.
Yeah.
But you're 4-0 there. You're right. But that's, of course, that's one of the things he's preached. And I give Silverfield credit, too. He's smart. He realizes what got him beat last year was fumbles and penalties. And so that has been the thing I preach. I preach every day, no turnovers. And that is, you can show improvement there. You may not be able to show improvement from a talent perspective or a collection, but you can show less penalties and no turnovers, or less turnovers.
Did I hear Coach right as well that there's only 9 practices before school starts?
Yeah, he said, I think that's what the number was. It was the shortest camp he's ever been to.
Yeah.
Which, Wes, back in our day, I was 1 year removed. I got there in 1981 in Fayetteville with Coach Holtz. And the year before in 80, he was having 3 a days. No joke. He was doing 3 a days. He was having 3 practices a day. And I think they were all full pads. I know that the morning and afternoon and maybe the midday was not, but yeah, these kids today, they got it made. So yeah, he did say it's I think a 9-practice camp, and the time restrictions and all that. It's a new world. It's a world that
they don't do 2 days anyway, so it doesn't matter if you're in school or not. Really,
I know. You're right. It's a different ball game.
Well, he talked about losing the benefit of at least doing walkthroughs, which
So we used to practice, and then the offensive linemen went in and they do special teams outside, and that was a whole practice.
Oh yeah, you bet.
And that's what the 3 days were.
Yeah,
and then we practiced that afternoon. What Saban did was so smart.
No, wait a second. I've heard a completely different story about your practice schedule.
Well, first
down
of all,
in Tuscaloosa,
I never missed a 2-a-day practice the whole time I was at Alabama. So the only they would hold me out, but I was there.
Okay,
they want to get me hurt. I mean, I hurt my knee in the spring and wasn't supposed to play my senior year.
Yeah, no need to do that. Yeah, that's smart. I think it's smart now. Of course, it's a different game. I will tell you one funny Lou Holtz story.
Please.
So, of course, I was a linebacker, of course, and this was probably 82. Of course, you guys, I'm sure, saw where the great Billy Ray Smith Jr., who was a teammate of mine, 2-time All-American outside linebacker, defensive end, died recently of Alzheimer's.
What a great player, though.
Oh, he was an excellent player, but I think it was 82, 81 or 82. And so we had wrapped up, the defensive side of the ball, we had finished practice, and we had basically gone up to the dorm. We did not call up as a team for that particular day. And I remember as I walked by, I heard Lou say, "Hey, we're going to have 25 perfect plays, and you're going to be here all night till we get it straight." And I swear to you, we showered, got dressed, got up to the dorm, and our dorm back then overlooked sort of the football field. And it was an hour later, and they were still trying to finish those like 20 perfect plays. They were there like 90 minutes, like another hour and a half longer. And I was like, Oh, dear Lord, thank goodness I'm on the defensive side of the ball. It was, woo! Luke could have some intense practices. Like I said, it was back when you could shake that face mask, too.
Oh, yeah.
Back in those days, you could shake those face masks, baby.
Well, last year you guys opened up with Alabama A&M, and I remember that first drive for the Bulldogs. I remember texting you.
God.
I remember texting you going, oh, boy. Well, now you got UNA. You're just raiding North Alabama again. This time UNA right out of the gate.
That was the worst defensive series I've ever seen. The opening series of boy, we're in trouble. They just went through us like we had not practiced in like 5 years. I mean, they sliced us and diced us, and obviously we ended up winning the game. But that was bad. That was bad. Yeah, North Alabama. How about that?
So, is this a good way to start the Silverfield era?
Well, if you're looking for wins, there are not many to be found. North Alabama's one of them. Tulsa's another. In between that, you got to go to Utah at 9:15 Central Time.
Jeez.
So you're kicking off at 9:15 Central Time in Utah, and you come back and you play Georgia at 11 a.m. You can get back at Sunday morning, like at 4 o'clock in the morning or 6 o'clock, and then you got to you play early. So you got Utah and Georgia. That's a tough non-conference draw. And then you think about after you get those, if you get to the win from North Alabama and Tulsa, you got A&M, Tennessee, Vandy, Missouri in a row. It's just tough to find the W's.
You end back to back with Texas and LSU. I mean,
oh my Lord, that's at Texas and LSU at home, and so it's just that's what I'm saying. I hate it that I think he can make the team better. It's just pretty darn brutal when you have. There's not really, all these SEC teams are all solid. I think almost all of them except for South Carolina, top 25, I think for the most part, are close to it. Maybe not Auburn. But anyway, it's going to be tough for them. Like I said, I'm anxious to take a look at them. I think we're going to be a little undersized as we usually are. But again, a lot of times, and that's what he did at Memphis, you play smart football. Your football, if you have a high football IQ, you may not run a 4.6, but you play like you run a 4.6. If your reaction time, if you're smart, if you know your plays, you can play bigger and better than you are. Now, if you're against competition that's equally has a high football IQ and play hard, it's tough to beat them. But so we'll see. Like I said, I think it's going to be a tough year. So we'll just see what we can get out of it. I feel bad for Razorback fans. It's just been a tough road, boy. It's been a tough road.
So they would be happy with 4 wins? Is that what I'm hearing out of you?
I think if you could get a couple conference wins again, I think 4. I hate to say that, but 4 to 5, you're going from 2 to 4 to 5. You find out a way. Find out a way to win some conference. Listen, we got to win a conference game. Can we just win one conference game? Can you beat Vandy? Can you beat Missouri? Can't beat Missouri. We've beaten Missouri once in 9 years. We've beaten A&M once in 9 years. I mean, it's been.
You can beat Tennessee, though. You've beaten Tennessee.
I know we have. We've actually had a decent record against Tennessee over the last 4 or 5 years. If we could have beaten Texas A&M one time, when Bielema was here, Bielema probably would still be coaching. But he could never beat. He never could beat them, and it'd find ways to lose against those guys. We'd be up 2 touchdowns in the second half and still lose it. But that's been the crazy thing, is not being able to beat A&M and not being able to beat Missouri. And it's a killer. And then you got all the other outstanding programs, but you think you'd get a few wins, but out of Missouri or A&M, but just that has not been the case. So we'll see. We're ready to buckle up and go. Let's see what happens. There's no expectations. So that's
clearly,
the thing. There's nobody. Yeah, he's 16th. Well, why not go out and throw everything but the kitchen sink at him?
Is that A&M series done in Dallas, or is I heard a question about it, but is that at all being talked about, Texas A&M and Arkansas going back to Jerry's world?
I think at some point, I think a break is fine. Listen, I got tired of going there and losing. I'm telling you. I got tired. I'm like, I don't want to come back here. And for fans that got older, they got sick of it too. You can only go so many times. If the games have been exciting, they were great when Petrino was there, but it was just no fun. So I think I'm fine with them going. And it's great to play in A&M. I played there in the old Southwest Conference days, and they got another 30,000 fans now. So it's a great place to play. and it's great for A&M to come to Fayetteville. So I don't have a problem putting that on the shelf for a while and maybe circling back to it.
Well, let's circle back to your golf game. Since you're boys with Daly, tell me about your golf game. I mean, you've got you got somebody right in your hip pocket. I would imagine the golf game is doing pretty well for you.
No, I'm terrible. I'm so embarrassed. The last time I said I'm never going to play again unless I practice. I mean, you got people think, oh, but Basil's going to crush it. And you go out there, you top it, it goes about 20 yards, or you hit into the trees. It's just, it just.
I feel your pain.
Manhood. Yeah. It's just like your manhood is like, dude, you don't look like a man. Getting this thing straight.
You know what you need to tell them? This is what you need to tell them. Well, no, I don't need to say that.
Good self-edit right there. Yeah. We've got room for one dump, so
that's okay. I play a few. Everything hurts too. I mean, I'm limping around and the shoulder's killing me, and my, it's just the knees aching, and nothing feels good. It's just, Daly's the same way. He's really struggling to play at all now. He's got so many
injuries,
and so. Yeah, I got a ton of injuries. Sure does. So
he has tennis elbow from drinking those new drinks of his. They're the best things I've ever had. Have you had them?
No. What drink is this?
The Good Boys.
Good Boys.
Yeah.
And you know what it says on it? He says, "Grip and rip it." That's what it says on there.
He helped him sell a bunch. He's helped him sell a bunch of those things.
They're delicious.
Yeah. I think he drinks about 20 of them when he goes out there for a round of golf.
He'd have to.
Well, we're counting down to September 5th. I know there's a lot of Lion fans that listen to us, and they'll be making the trek up because they're christening a new stadium as well this year as well over in Florence. So.
Well, North Alabama has a special place. The Touchdown Club took over the Harlan Hill Award, and we present that every year.
That's right.
And so we're really proud to do that award and carry on tradition of Harlan Hill, and that came out of North Alabama. So we've got a connection there. Little Rock does with that college and that town.
What's the schedule? Can you give us any hints as to who's coming to Little Rock?
Well, I will say this: we got some big names coming, and especially there's one meeting you're only going to go, wow, Basil, that's a huge get. It's the biggest get that the Touchdown Club has ever had. We've had some big ones. We've had 11 or 15 Heisman Trophy, 25 or 30 Gold Jackets, NFL Hall of Famers. We'll get those again this year, but we got a monster meeting that when it's announced, you'll go, wow, That's a pretty good get for the Little Rock Touchdown Club. We announced that Thursday, so you'll if you don't see it, I'll make sure to send it to you. It's a pretty big get. I work on that thing for about 5 months. About to drive me crazy, but it'll be a good year. It'll be fun.
It's something I always said, especially the Q&A, that part of it as well. I feel like the fans are asking better questions as well through the years.
Yeah, it's the Q&A's really turned out to be good. Of course, we've had the Ed Orgeron. That was our quote. Would tell me what time and what door to walk out of, and then we got Orgeron and John Gruden back to back first interviews since they'd been fired, and got millions of views. Of course, Hunter Yurachek's been very controversial in some of the things he said, and creates quite a stir. And so we sort of pride ourselves on. I think we had 27 million impressions last year. I think we had Brett Favre one year go after Ole Miss, and that got a lot of attention. And so we this year should have some good ones. There should be some interesting things said this year too. We got a really good group. I appreciate you asking. Yeah, people can watch that on we stream it live on Little Rock Touchdown Club website and social media pages. So when we have a good one, love to have you tune in.
That is lrtouchdown.com for the website. Baz, always great to catch up with you, partner, and hit them straight.
Thanks,
or don't hit them at all.
Yeah, or just down a good boy. Is that what they're called? Good boy?
Yes.
Yes, I'll pass and let you guys swing. Always good to talk to you guys. Good to see you down in Tampa.
Likewise. Thank you, Baz. That's David Basil. Always entertaining. Yeah, you can, especially bringing up track athletes on the squad this fall, I could hear that in his voice. Could you?
Man, they have to be so stressed out with this program was one of the best programs in the country.
I mean, is the heyday it's got to be Houston Nutt. Made it to Atlanta. So, I know that the heydays.
I just cannot believe that they're struggling like they are. It's hard for me to believe.
We need to take our final time out here in hour number 1. We'll roll along here on The Drive.
You're listening to The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. This hour of The Drive is brought to you by Lynn Leighton Ford, located online at lynnleightonford.com.
Tom Abraham here from my good friend Bobby White at Lynn Leighton Ford, where you never find some mysterious dock fee that could be like $600, $700, or $800. A dock fee is an add-on that some dealers will charge just to do the paperwork on your deal. Now, Wes and I just bought F-150s at Lynn Leighton, and we're amazed at the ease of getting the deal done. Transparency is important in buying these days, and that's what you get at Lynn Leighton Ford in Decatur. Lynn Leighton offers an extensive new and pre-owned inventory, as well as lease specials, finance options, and expert auto service. They are dedicated to providing exceptional customer service and are an integral part of our community. Believe me, it is worth the short ride over to Decatur to see what Lynn Leighton Ford has to offer, just a mile west of the Beltline on 6th. At Lynn Leighton, there are no mystery fees, just great prices. It's the Lynn Leighton way. We made the move, and so should you, to Lynn Leighton Ford.
Since 1983, Berkshire Hathaway Rise Real Estate's Ann Adams has been your local go-to real estate expert in the area. As a buyer, you can trust Ann's in-depth knowledge of the local housing market to narrow available properties down to those you'll be interested in, saving you time when shopping for a new home. When you're ready to sell, Ann's expert negotiation skills will ensure you get a fair price and hassle-free experience. Call Ann Adams today at 256-337-2625 or email annadamsrise@gmail.com.
When a team sticks together, it shows in the way they work and the way they treat you.
We don't just hire great people, they stay. On average, our managers have been with us over 15 years, and company-wide turnover is under 3%.
It's a culture built on integrity and heart.
When you call, you get someone who knows your name, understands your business, and is invested in your success.
And that means service you can count on every time.
No Wi-Fi?
How are we going to stream the game?
Mom, I have a research project due.
How are we going to make dinner?
Don't let power outages send your family into a meltdown. Get a Generac generator from Current Electrical. We keep your lights on and your Wi-Fi on. Visit gensuperstore.com or call 256-880-1880. Trust us, your family will thank you.
Most current way to keep your power on. GeneracSuperstore.com.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
A wise man once said, if you take care of old folks and children, everything in the middle will take care of itself.
Hi, I'm Danny Aldridge, lawyer in Alabama and Tennessee. In the next 20 years, the number of those folks over 65 years of age will more than double. In our golden years, the most important goal is to be treated with dignity and have control over doing what makes you grateful with those you love. At the Aldridge Law Firm and the Legal Town Center, we're dedicated to help you with these goals, and we'll be there when life throws you those inevitable curveballs. Let us assist you with your legal needs, whatever they may be or become. You may reach us by phone at 256-534-3188 or online with Dan at danaldridgelaw.com. Just remember, we're here to help. Whether it's personal injury, wrongful death, fraud and cheat, or estate planning made complete, we're here to help.
Your Fox 54 weather.
I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. Not a bad night across the Tennessee Valley. We're going to drop into the upper 60s and lower 70s. A mostly to partly sunny sky for your Wednesday. Temperatures once again climbing into the mid and upper 80s with a couple of passing showers. We are going to begin to warm things up for Thursday. Mostly to partly sunny sky. Temperatures climbing into the lower 90s.
Your Fox 54 weather. Only on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Talking Ball with Scott Tyson and Drew DeArmond. Weekday mornings beginning at 7 a.m. Only on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Coming up tomorrow, it'll be good to catch up with Trevor Maddich from ESPN. Trev going to join us to talk a little college football. Did you see the news that came out, I believe it was late yesterday? A good friend of the program who hardly ever answers my text messages. Well, he is now going to be a TV boy, as the former national coordinator of officials, Steve Shaw, is now going to step into a new role, if I can talk, with ESPN and ABC as their new rules analyst.
There you go.
They will hire just about anybody.
I hope ESPN can get him to respond more than...
Yeah, they get him to talk. That'd be good.
Yeah. So...
Former Bama boy, though.
Yes, he is a member of the Alabama Sports Hall of Fame, is Steve Shaw. I did reach out to Steve, and he did tell me when we get closer to the season that he'd come on.
To.
Yeah.
Because of ESPN.
So right? I'm hopeful we'll get more of Steve Shaw and kind of get more into the week-to-week pullback of what officials go through. I'd love to know. I really would, because they keep things very close to the vest there in their world. 256-576-4977 is the telephone number. 256-576-4977 if you'd like to participate. Coming up in hour number 2, I have an interview in the can already with the voice of the Atlanta Braves, Ben Ingram. Braves and Marlins set to square off tonight over in Cobb County. Grant Holmes on the hill against Ryan Gusto for the Fish, as they are 9.5 games back of the first place Atlanta Braves. Braves, this is game number 113 and home game number 57. I think we're down to about 49 games left in the regular season, which means Thursday is the Hall of Fame game. And John McClain is going to join us later on in the week to talk a little NFL with us and get you set for the NFL season. By the way, if you have not heard, we are your new home for Titans football. Excited about that partnership. I worked with Titans Radio for a couple of seasons, and good to have them on our airwaves. Mario Cristobal currently on SportsCenter. Looks like he's got pink eye. Oh, boy.
WZZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. Major League Baseball Spotlight tonight is on Wrigley Field, where two-time AL Cy Young Award winner Tarek Skubal will make his Dodgers debut against the Cubs. Skubal's made 38 starts, allowing 4 earned runs or fewer, the longest active streak in Major League Baseball. He's 7-5 with a 2.79 ERA, 116 strikeouts in 96 2/3 innings this year. ESPN MLB reporter Jesse Rogers.
Adrenaline will not be a problem. Wrigley Field, making your Dodger debut, trying to help a team make a three-peat, that's not going to be an issue. Perhaps he scales it down. Maybe it's not 110 pitches tonight. Maybe he goes hard for 5 innings and lets it all out and, has that great debut. And we'll see if the Cubs can get to him.
A trio of big NFL paydays on this Tuesday. Bijan Robinson, now the highest paid running back in league history. He and the Falcons agreed on a 3-year extension worth up to $75 million, $51 million guaranteed. Ravens star receiver Zay Flowers agreed on a 4-year, $140 million extension, $108 million guaranteed. The Bears and right tackle Darnell Wright agreed on a 4-year, $116 million extension, guarantees of $93 million. The deal is the biggest ever for a right tackle and the most guaranteed money for an offensive lineman in the history of the NFL. Falcons edge rusher Jalen Walker carted off the field today with what is feared to be a torn ACL. He will undergo an MRI. Cardinals rookie quarterback Carson Beck will start Thursday's Hall of Fame game against the Panthers. Arizona will be resting regular season starter Jacoby Brissett, as well as his backup Gardner Minshew.
Hey, it's Evan Cohen. Coming up on Wednesday, one of the biggest sins in sports was committed. It's not exactly what you think. I'll tell you why this trend needs to end. It's on Sportsmanlike, 6 a.m. Eastern, ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
.97.7 ESPN The Zone. Welcome to The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton. Call into the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline, 256-576-4977.
That's how I roll. And I'm not going to drink and drive anymore.
That's 256-576-4977. Now, here's Wes and Steve.
It is a Tuesday edition of The Drive. Just another reason, another sign, if you will. College football is right around the corner. It was released earlier today, the USA Today preseason coaches poll, otherwise known as the SID polls. I really don't know a whole lot of coaches that spend a lot of time on these polls.
It can't be any worse than the press.
Ohio State and Oregon hold down the top spots. And the Southeastern Conference has 5 of the top 10, but don't let cloud your top 2 being Ohio State and Oregon. Buckeyes received 38 of the 72 first-place votes. We're ahead of the Ducks, who got 6 first-place votes. Then it was Georgia at number 3, Texas 4, Notre Dame 5, and Indiana, your defending champs, are 6. They're still not playing Notre Dame. The U is 7, followed by Texas A&M, Oklahoma, and Ole Miss. So that's SEC, SEC, SEC. I did not say the words Alabama because the Crimson Tide check in at 11, to which I did hear a little bit of reaction on that on Feinbaum. I never heard Paul utter the words, it's not where you start, it's where you finish, because he likes to lean into the stir. I don't think he likes Kalen DeBoer too much. Maybe I'm misreading that.
Well, first of all, Paul doesn't care about anything. He didn't like Saban at times. He didn't like whoever can make the most stir the pot. That's what he's going to do. And he's made his money stirring the pot. And how many times did he declare Saban done? Over.
Oh, how many? It's just who else was it? Clay Travis?
Really,
I can't remember who it was.
I really don't think Paul.
You don't think he's a big college football fan? Period.
No, I don't think he knows if it's pumped up as stuffed. And I've said that forever. He is a good radio host though, because he gets the listeners.
Yes, he does.
So that's the way he does it. So
lined him up.
Yeah, and that's just. I mean, look at him. He couldn't catch one.
Alabama 11. Can you believe the atrocities on the state of the program down in Tuscaloosa? Alabama's 11 in a coach's poll that really doesn't. Anyway, LSU's 13. Southern California 14, Brigham Young University. BYU is 15. Michigan is 16.
How is Michigan 16? Have you ever thought about that?
I have no.
Although
then Penn State. I mean, that's another program with James Franklin and that he left to Virginia Tech and. Oh, my goodness gracious.
They fired him.
Matt Campbell comes in. I know that, yeah. Matt Campbell comes in. See how that works out there in Happy Valley. Tennessee is 18. Mentioned how Josh Heupel felt about the NCAA's ruling on Arian Carter. He called it BS, but he decided to say his words exactly. He did get the old quarterback room question, did Josh Heupel.
Yeah, Josh, you've mentioned the quarterback battle. What's your message to those guys as they take the field entering this crucial stretch? What do you want to see from them over the next couple of weeks?
And we're starting training camp. Nobody's going to earn it, lose it day one. Don't want to see a guy make the same mistake twice. Want to see them be a different player than they were when they finished spring ball, and their command and control of what we're doing offensively. You play a position where you have to be able to distribute the football. So that's understanding our scheme, defenses, protections, checks, all of that, and then I want to see their fundamentals come into play so that they can be consistently accurate down the football field. It's not going to be perfect here as we embark on training camp. I say the same thing to our entire team. I want to see guys that don't make the same mistake twice. They're stacking reps, stacking days, and continue to grow as a player. And somebody will go out there and earn it, and once that guy has done that, then we'll name a guy.
It is believed that George McIntyre is your odds-on favorite to.
So why come they can't get a big league quarterback at Tennessee with their coach?
I guess they thought they had it a few years ago in Nico, and that thing
that
blew
was 2
up.
years ago.
But then Joey, he balled out last year in a big way, in a way that I didn't anticipate. I don't know how many people did anticipate Joey Aguilar having the numbers he had last year.
And he balled out to what kind of record? Was his ball out? Dude, he was a plugger.
Is their last best quarterback,
anything.
Is it Hendon Hooker? Because Hendon, that was a magical season.
Magical how?
They made it to the playoffs that year and lost at Ohio State in a very cold game.
But what I would say, if they had a quarterback, a really good quarterback.
So you're saying their last really good quarterback was T. Martin?
No. I mean, I just don't think they've had a good quarterback the last couple of years.
You didn't think Joey was all that good last year? He was not healthy at the end of the year, but what quarterback is?
They lost to Vanderbilt, but got killed by Vanderbilt.
You're acting like Vanderbilt wasn't a double-digit win team.
They got killed at home by Vanderbilt.
They did.
So I don't care who you are. If you get killed at home by Vanderbilt.
But it wasn't your garden average
you're gonna
Vanderbilt.
Yeah, but they got killed. It wasn't close.
It wasn't. And they could have put any number they want up there.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is that I don't care any measure. Tennessee should be measured by championships, not by doing okay, serviceable. Those words shouldn't come. I mean,
they don't have a great record against Arkansas.
No, I'm not worried about that. I'm just saying that you would think with their coach, who's was a quarterback and did amazing things with everybody else, they can't get anybody to a big name quarterback to sign there. Why is that? Maybe I'm wrong. Please, somebody tell me I'm wrong, but that's what it appears to me.
That's interesting because, I mean, if you really go back to it, Heupel is known for quarterbacks.
That's what I'm saying. That's the whole point.
I know.
I'm not attacking him. I am saying that I can't believe that they don't have a better quarterback.
Well, we'll find out.
Maybe one of these guys are better than I think. Maybe, but that's not what it appears to me.
Let's see here. It's year 7 for Drinkwitz at Missouri. Year 6 for Shane Beamer at South Carolina. It's also year 6 for Steve Sarkisian at Texas and year 6 for Josh Heupel at Tennessee. Year 5.
I can't believe that's year 6 for.
Mm-hmm.
That's wow.
Your longest tenured coach in the Southeastern Conference is Kirby Smart. It is year 11 for Kirby at Georgia. Year 3 for Kalen DeBoer. Also year 3 for Jeff Lebby at Mississippi State. For Venables, this is year 5 at Oklahoma. And we heard from Chris Lowe yesterday believing that this is Venable's best team heading into the season.
We'll see about that for sure.
Well, the trio of sixes, Beamer, Heupel, and Sarkisian, feels like an important year for all of them.
It's always an important year, but
Sarkisian, they've spent a lot of money on that roster down in Austin,
and he's made the playoffs once, and didn't make it last year. But they weren't. They'd be idiots if they did anything with him if he doesn't make the playoffs again.
Sarkisian's SEC record is 30-13. Heupel's SEC record is 24-16. Shane Beamer's SEC record is 16-24.
See, I think he's. I just don't see him making it this year. I think this is his last.
Well, South Carolina did get a vote of confidence as I put them dead last in my rankings. So you're welcome. You're the South Carolina Nation. You're welcome. I just I've been waiting for the program to turn a corner, and I do like Kendall Briles coming in as offensive coordinator there, and I do like
just enough for them to pick him last.
I do like Kendall Briles, but I don't think they have a lot defensively, depth-wise, after the first.
Who knows what anybody has depth-wise? I mean, that's.
Well, Drankowitz, by the way, it's year 7 for him. He's 26-24 in SEC play.
Yeah, but they were horrible before he got there. I mean,
they were.
So that's what.
That was actually one of my favorite questions at SEC Media Days. Is what would you tell yourself today, going back to your first year? Because his first year was the COVID year, and that was the nothing but SEC. That was the Alabama game right out of the gate. With the rain coming down there in Columbia, Missouri. Kalen DeBoer, by the way, for all you haters out there, Kalen DeBoer's SEC record is 12-4. I mean, he's 12-4 in SEC play and 20-8 overall.
Well, I mean,
12-4 is pretty darn good.
It's not bad,
but
I think
the Vanderbilt game that we've mentioned a few times, we'll see. It's those lows, not necessarily how do you react.
It's the fact that they in some big games, they have not played very well. I mean, in the bowl games and in games that they should. I mean, you look at the Michigan game, horrible. They played horrible in the Michigan game.
Mm-hmm.
And then right after that, the next game was Florida State. They played horrible. And I get why everybody was upset because I was upset. I was one of them. But then you got to give it to them the way they played the rest of the year. I thought.
Well, as much as we've kind of hyped up Alex Golesh, his record as a head coach is 23-15, and kind of finished with.
What's the fact where he was at South Florida, which, and the way they played, I like the way they play, way how hard his players play.
Well, he did mention a certain tight end, and it's a transfer from North Carolina. And Jake Johnson stood out, and this is what Coach Golesh had to say on the transfer tight end.
It's been really, really good to get a healthy Jake Johnson the last 3 weeks, really 2.5 weeks. He's gotten better every day. He's been fun and exciting, and he's taken giant steps. He's got really cool leadership ability. We haven't talked about tight ends today. What are we doing? It's the most important position on the field, right? But he's taken giant steps here these last couple of weeks. It's been awesome. And I love his spirit. He's got some, jerk in him in a good way. like on the field, which that I did not know, because when you meet him, he's like the nicest kid you'll ever meet. But he's got really good awareness of, it's almost like he grew up in it. Like he's got really good awareness of space and blocking schemes, and he's played a ton of football. He's been awesome. It's been great to have him. Xavier Newsome is, because of some injury stuff like Jonathan Eccles being out, Xavier Newsome has taken some steps now. He just got his butt ripped because bad body language half the day today. He was tired and feeling sorry for himself. So if you see him, he's going to be droopy faced, but he's got to snap out of it. Like that kid, for a young man that played at Howard last year to come in here, and he's taken a ton of 1 reps. I don't know if he's totally ready for that yet, but he's had to be, and he's stepped up in some big moments. He's going to be a really good player here. Man, excited about him. Arliss Boardingham has missed the last couple of weeks with a hammy. He practiced today. We kind of limited him a little bit, but he showed some really positive things. DJ Broughton, he's gotten a ton of reps because of some injury stuff, and he's shown some flashes. He's also shown that he's a 17-year-old freshman at times. But that group, I've said it before, like that group has got to be really good for us. We need to get Jonathan Eccles back and really get a full rotation in there. But I'm leaving, at least today, with way happier than, man, when we got here, I was like in a bad mental headspace on that deal. But I feel a lot better and actually feel pretty good.
That is Alex Golish on the tight end room, and the all-important injury report heading into fall camp. As remember, Auburn heading to Atlanta to take on Baylor in game 1.
Yeah, Stanton not out there today. Wilson Zaire has got a little bum ankle deal, so he wasn't out there today, which I thought Ty Buster got more reps, Jacoby Ward got more reps. Like, those guys need them. And they've kind of answered the bell here this last week and a half, which has been really impressive to see. Again, kind of like the wideout group, we need these young guys to get really old really fast. And the easy cop-out answer is to say, well, we're young. You know who doesn't care we're young is anybody. Like, nobody cares. Baylor week 1 ain't going to care how old we are. So,
how many Auburn fans right now say, thank goodness I'm hearing this out of my coach? Especially after, anyway.
They got to grow up, and we got the perfect guy. And it's Coach Hoodie's the perfect guy because he gives zero craps about how young they are. And they all get their fair share of butt chewings, and they're starting to respond, which is good. Man, I've been impressed with Byram. His poise, this is his wheelhouse, is being out here and everybody off the field, and he can just go make plays and be him. Group that needs work. I continue to harp on this O-line piece. They've had really high moments, and then when it's bad, it's bad. The interior of that D-line is a straight pain in the butt. These edge guys, I think Jared Smith has taken a huge step. I hope I don't regret saying that.
Okay, so in case you missed that one part, I was wondering if you were going to catch that, and sure enough, I saw that little side eye.
Group that needs work. I continue to harp on this O-line piece. They've had really high moments, and then when it's bad, it's bad.
Oh, boy.
Well, I mean, that's what I've been hearing. The guys that I talk to know what the hell they're doing and what they're saying. And they have said that the part of Auburn that they're concerned about is the upfront piece on both sides of the ball. They're not going to be as good as they were last year. And what I said, and I've said consistently, I think their record will be better because I think this
5 wins last year.
Yeah, I think their record's going to be better, but
due to the coaching.
Yes. But they're not going to be as good up front, and they should have won more games last year. We all know that.
And again, I agree with you that he's not necessarily just talking to the fans and the reporters.
Well, he's
talking
pumping
to
up his players. You can tell.
Yeah.
Especially the ones they've been hard on.
Mm-hmm.
You can tell they've been, and you got to coach hard. But if they're like me, which I don't know if these kids are because there's so much, I never looked at an article. I never looked at anything. I never looked at a paper. I was too damn tired for all that. And it really doesn't matter what.
Well, that's what 3 days do to you.
I mean, no, I'm talking about the whole season.
Yeah, the whole season.
I never looked at anything. I mean, because I watched the film. Why do I have to care what anybody thinks?
We didn't have these phones.
Well, right, but I got to watch the film. I could tell what I was doing, and I didn't need Paul Feinbaum to tell me for sure. Now, my mom got on to Paul pretty good several times.
I bet she did.
Yeah. But, I mean, it's because they were getting on a freshman quarterback. Guy was 18 years old and got thrown in a position where he wasn't ready to play. So
here is the rest of the injury report from Coach Golish.
The interior of that D-line is a straight pain in the butt. These edge guys, I think Jared Smith has taken a huge step. I hope I don't regret saying that. Womack is playing high-level football. I've been impressed with that group. Joe is really taking a huge step there. We had C.K. Murray hadn't gone yet, full go, but I'm excited to see him. I like our linebacker group a lot. Like, those guys, they are violent, they are physical, they make plays, they make it go. Like, Elijah Melendez has been as consistent as anybody on our football team. Like, day in, day out, he's been really, really impressive. Like, mentality, mindset, I've challenged him to lead. He's trying. He's growing into that. I need him to do it now. That safety group is youthful at times. Like, we held Caleb today, held Sly today. Just end of the spring here, beat up a little bit and not taking any chances. We still don't have Champ back. So, like, you got to see a ton of Eric Winters and New Boy, and those guys, they bring really cool energy to it. Our corner group, we need them to take another step. We held Rayshawn today, so you got to see Shamar step up a little bit. You got to see Gavin Jenkins step up a little bit. But to tell you anybody's arrived just yet would be really hard. But I thought for practice 13 or whatever is 12 today, I thought a bunch of guys, young guys, took steps.
That is Alex Golish, more or less on the injury report. And Champ Anthony is reportedly going to be back next week. So we'll see. But he has been very injury prone in his time down on the plains. Tell you what we're going to do. We're going to take a timeout. My conversation with Ben Ingram comes up next right here on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
You're listening to The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Since 1983, Berkshire Hathaway Rise Real Estate's Ann Adams has been your local go-to real estate expert in the area. As a buyer, you can trust Ann's in-depth knowledge of the local housing market to narrow available properties down to those you'll be interested in, saving you time when shopping for a new home. When you're ready to sell, Ann's expert negotiation skills will ensure you get a fair price and hassle-free experience. Call Ann Adams today at 256-337-2625 or email annadamsrise@gmail.com.
Tom Abraham here for my good friend Bobby White at Lynn Leighton Ford, where you never find some mysterious dock fee that could be like $600, $700, or $800. A dock fee is an add-on that some dealers will charge just to do the paperwork on your deal. Now, Wes and I just bought F-150s at Lynn Leighton, and we're amazed at the ease of getting the deal done. Transparency is important in buying these days, and that's what you get at Lynn Leighton Ford in Decatur. Lynn Leighton offers an extensive new and pre-owned inventory, as well as lease specials, finance options, and expert auto service. They are dedicated to providing exceptional customer service and are an integral part of our community. Believe me, it is worth the short ride over to Decatur to see what Lynn Leighton Ford has to offer, just a mile west of the Beltline on 6th. At Lynn Leighton, there are no mystery fees, just great prices. It's the Lynn Leighton way. We made the move, and so should you, to Lynn Leighton Ford.
I'm attorney Gary Lackey. I know your accident is the real thing. and they happen to real people.
I'm attorney Justin Lackey. There's a lot of talk right now about bigger, but when you've had a wreck, is bigger better?
I'm attorney Jennifer Lackey. Do you want to be just a case number?
With offices in Huntsville and Scottsboro, we take the time to help.
The Lackey Law Firm. The Lackey Law Family. 1-800-4RIGHTS.
No representation is made that the quality of the legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
Isn't the story of the prodigal son an amazing story? Basically, a rowdy boy who literally wished his father dead, ran away, and consumed his wealth with hard and fast living. Yet the father looked for his return every day, and when the boy got tired of eating pig slop, he decided to return. What did the father do? As soon as he saw that boy, he ran to him, threw his arms around him, and killed the fatted calf for a great celebration. Hey, I'm John Dees, pastor of the Cross Point Church. If you're looking for a church home, come see us, smack dab across the street from the YMCA in Madison.
Tom Abraham here for my friends at All About Water. Crazy name, huh? Well, let me introduce you to them. All About Water is the top pond builder anywhere in the Tennessee Valley, and that includes remodeling or cleaning out existing ponds as well. They also have monthly maintenance plans for your pond. Don't have a pond? Well, how about a fountain or water feature for your property to bring that soothing sound of running water to your happy place? On the other hand, maybe you have water on your property that you don't want. Well, Ryan at All About Water is all about water, so he could take care of that as well. He has a background in fluid dynamics, and what that means is that he could take care of any water issue that you have. Finally, how about that irrigation system that you have or that you want? Well, they do installs and maintenance and repairs on those as well because they are all about water. Learn more at allaboutwaterllc.com. That's allaboutwaterllc.com.
I'm Bill Crawford, the host of The Point with Bill Crawford. Tune us in Monday through Friday from 2 to 4 p.m. on Talk Radio WZZN.
Back here on The Drive, there were many Braves fans, you might include me, that were echoing Josh Heupel today.
I truly believe is bullshit.
Of course, that was Josh Heupel talking about Arian Carter. That'd be Braves fans talking about the trade deadline, Coach.
I truly believe is bullshit.
The Braves and Marlins are currently scoreless in the bottom of the first inning. And there was really only one way to start my conversation earlier this afternoon with the voice of the Atlanta Braves, a very testy at the end, Ben Ingram. I don't know about you, Ben, but the reaction I got yesterday was, what are we doing? What are we doing? What are we doing? What are we doing? So I'm going to ask you, what are we doing? What are we doing?
Trade deadline. I kind of felt going into it that the team had probably three real needs, and I felt like they addressed a couple of them, but I think the big need was the one that was not met. So I was ultimately disappointed with the outcome. I think a lot of people were. And the way I see it is you've got a staff, a team, a manager, a bullpen that has really overperformed, in my opinion. I thought they'd hit the ball. I think if you went back and listened to some of our interviews around spring training, I thought they'd hit the ball. They've hit the ball. I thought the bullpen would be good. The bullpen's been good. I thought that their biggest issue was starting pitching, and I thought that was the case opening day, not just leading up to the trade deadline, but to begin the season. And there have been stretches where they have gone above and beyond, and I tip my cap to them for doing that, but I think they deserve, with what they've put forth to this point, some reinforcements. I think Walt deserves that. I think the staff deserves that. And I think the fans certainly do, because you start to align yourself with some of the other teams in the league and the teams that are in your way of where you want to be, and that's getting to the World Series and winning the World Series. And I think you have to evaluate what you have versus what they have. I don't think it's a safe practice to just simply evaluate yourself with what the Marlins have or the Nationals have. Fine teams, but I don't think those are the teams that are standing in your way of where you want to be. If all you care about is winning the division, then sure, you should be able to do that. But I think the fan base demands more than that, and I think that they should. I think they certainly deserve to have a team that is pushing as hard as they can to get to the World Series, and adding to that, I think, would have been beneficial.
And I've heard a little bit from Alex Anthopoulos. He's done a couple of interviews, and I don't know if you've heard what I've heard, and it's just it makes me think of what you said over the weekend during one of your broadcasts of you would love to get inside the nuts and bolts of what could have happened, might have happened. I honestly was kind of looking at Casey Mize and thought that to me was a legitimate target, not necessarily Screwball, but to me, I thought Mize, with his Auburn ties, maybe I'm going to put that in there a little bit too, but I just thought that was a decent fit. But I'm like you, Ben. I really thought that there was going to be, because you could make an argument right now that our number 2 starting pitcher is Martin Perez. And that's I don't know if that's a comfortable feeling if you're trying to grab that big prize at the end of the road. Not to say that Martin hasn't performed that. I'm very pleasantly surprised by Martin Perez, but I really go ahead.
Sure, you just have to be realistic, and I think that's what you're saying, and I completely agree with you. It's a gauntlet to get to and win the World Series.
Yes,
it's an absolute gauntlet. There are more rounds now than there have been. So unless you're one of the top 2 teams in the league, you do not have a bye. As it stands right now, if the season ended right now, the Braves are winning the East. That their record is 3rd best in the league. That would have them facing the last wild card team in. Well, right now, that's been the Phillies. Well, if you got the Phillies in the best 2 out of 3, okay, I feel really good about Game 1, Chris Sale versus probably Christopher Sanchez. Yep. Game 2, they're going to go out there and go with Zach Wheeler. And you're talking about Martin Perez versus Zach Wheeler. Now, we saw Martin Perez go out there and beat Jacob Mizorowski. Anything can happen. That's great. But let's say that does work out. Because I'd want a left-hander on the mound versus the Phillies if I'm facing them. To me, left-handed pitching is how you beat the Phillies. So let's say Sale and Perez beat the Phillies. You eliminate them. Okay, great. You advance to the next round, and you got the Brewers most likely. I mean, the Brewers will be the team that you currently line up against. And you do the whole practice again, line up your pitchers against their pitchers. If you were to win, you do the same thing again against the Dodgers. And I understand you can't go out there and say, okay, well, the Dodgers have Yamamoto, Ohtani, Snell, Glasnow, Scooble. So we got to go get 5 bases. I understand that that's probably not possible. But you got to have something more. You need more ammunition than Chris Sale and then take your pick.
Yeah.
I think if you tell me that you don't, if you tell me that you just feel like it'll be okay, that I just don't know how much you value getting to the World Series. And I think that's a legitimate question. If you can't go out there and say, okay, we feel good about these 2 guys at the top of the rotation. We added to the rotation with a Robbie Ray, a Casey Mize, a Tarek Scooble, whomever, Jacob deGrom. Then I think fans will understand, okay, we're doing the best that we can to get that piece and add. But if it didn't work out for deGrom and he turned down the trade, okay, that's one guy.
Yeah.
Maybe it didn't work out for Mize. Maybe it didn't work out for Ray. But it's got to work out for somebody. You have to find a way to make one of those deals work. And I see it as the window for this organization with the players that you currently have. It's not about the slam shut, but it's not rising open. I mean, Matt Olson's in his early 30s. You'll have Ronald Acuna another few years. Ozzie Albies is knocking on the door of 30. Same thing for Austin Riley. Chris Sale's 37 years old. So you've got this window, and I think now is the time to capitalize on that and give yourself the best opportunity you can to take out L.A., Milwaukee, Philadelphia, because with what you currently have, I'm not saying it's impossible, but it is really hard to see it happening on paper.
Well, and I think that's why you've just laid it out perfectly, Ben, why a lot of fans, my brother included, who is a season ticket holder, felt like the Braves were sellers on the trade deadline rather than building up because it's considering the start, and you mentioned it right out of the gate of just how well this team has performed. It's there's a lot in front of it, given the right pieces, and I know how much of this is counting on Spencer Schwallenbach to be a big part of this down the road?
I hope. I mean, down the road, meaning this season or in the next
this
few
season?
Years?
No, this season.
I hope it's not, because I just don't see how that's realistic. That makes no sense. If you're going into this saying, well, we got A.J. Smith-Shawver back, and we'll get Spencer Schwellenbach back in September. That's a farce to me to say that you put all of your hope on those two guys. Because, look, A.J. Smith-Shawver is 23 years old. He's been around for a couple of years. Spencer Schwellenbach, sure, there have been stretches where he's looked like an ace. Yeah. But by the time you get him back, he hasn't pitched in the big leagues in 6 months.
Yeah.
And to put that kind of a load on his shoulders when he just hasn't been available, I just have to be realistic and say I don't see that being the answer when the question is who's going to pitch up against Tarek Skubal or Yoshi Yamamoto? Yeah. Who's going to pitch up against Zach Wheeler? You see what I'm saying? And I think you just have to be realistic. And I love Spencer Schwellenbach. Yeah. And if he had a full season of health and productivity, then sure, that's an easy answer, but that's not the case. So I just have to be realistic and say I hope that it's not hinging on that.
Well, I hope not too. But I don't know what have you has your phone blown up as much as our phone lines of just disgruntled Braves fans?
Yeah, probably more my social media than anything else. And I've been able to do a few interviews, and I understand the frustration of fans. I do. I'm not in the boat where this is doomsday for Alex Anthopoulos, but I certainly understand the disappointment that fans have because such a great roster has been created for the first time probably since early May. You have health where you've got pretty much all your horses on the field when it comes to the lineup, not the rotation, but when it comes to the lineup. Yeah. And all you want to do is see a completion of the roster, a completion of what you need to win in the postseason. I thought this team before spring training could have added a few pitchers just to eat innings. I mean, 162 games is a long time, and you need pitchers to eat innings. These guys have gotten to this point. They've run the bullpen pretty ragged in stretches, but they've made their way here. Yeah. And now you're just looking for some reinforcement, some form of a cavalry to show up and take you the rest of the way, and that didn't come. So you have what you have, and you hope that that's enough.
Is there enough in Gwinnett, you think? Because that's what I heard a little bit of the strength of the farm system. Is that going to help this year?
I don't think so. No, I can't. Yeah. If those guys were good enough to be here, they'd be here. And the best that we've seen from AAA is J.R. Ritchie and Owen Murphy, and they've been yo-yoing back and forth essentially to fill needs, to eat innings, and get you through because you've had so few pitchers are going more than 5 innings. So that's eating into your bullpen. So, the farm system's in a really good position, but not to help you win right now. To me, the purpose of having prospects is to do one of two things: either help you win while they wear your uniform, or to trade them for players who will wear your uniform and help you win.
Yeah.
So they're banking on the long play here, and to me, I felt like you had enough prospect capital to where you could say a couple of those guys would be good pieces to trade to get what you need to give yourself your best opportunity for 2026, and they decided to hold on to that.
Well, let me at least highlight a guy that I was really worried about how early this young man was called up and what it was going to do to his psyche. But Didier Fuentes has tell me what you've seen out of Didier this year.
Electric stuff, and I still hope that he will be considered a starter in the long run. I mean, I think he brings a lot more value, in my opinion, being one of your top 5 guys. If he can in the future build up to be a starter and give you 6 or 7 innings or more every 5 days, to me that brings more value than what he's done. But this is an old school approach. This is what you used to see teams do. You would see pitchers, starters, graduate from the minor leagues to the big leagues and go to the bullpen. And that helps them in so many different ways. And I feel like the last pitcher we really did that with was Max Fried. And I've had conversations with Max before about how coming out of the bullpen in 2017, 18, and 19 helped him as a starter because that's how he learned how to get out of jams. That's how he learned to pitch through jams at the big league level, and that's benefited him as a starter in his career. So I think Didier will benefit the same way. I could see the same thing being the case for J.R. Ritchie, as they've used him out of the pen a little bit. But that's the old school way, and eventually you'd graduate to the rotation in the big league team. So maybe that's what happens with Didier Fuentes. I'd imagine that's still the case, but what he's been for this team this year has been great, almost like a secret weapon in the way that he can link from the starter to your big guns at the back end of the bullpen.
So I want to ask about our right fielder, Ronald Acuna. And there's been how much of the discussion around Ronald is because I keep reading and hearing about DH. How real is that here moving forward that we're going to see Ronald in right and in DH moving forward?
Yeah, I just think you're going to see him split it. I don't think there's going to be a time where he is primarily DH or primarily right field. I think they're going to choose their spots where they can take him off his feet, put his bat in the lineup. His bat makes such a big difference. Just to have that right-handed bat up there to separate all those lefties. The Braves have so many good left-handed batters, Baldwin, Olsen, Ozzie, if we're facing a right-handed pitcher that day, that kind of thing. But you need some more right-handed power. And I think Ronald being healthy definitely brings you that. And it makes it very challenging on an opposing team's manager when it comes to navigating through the Braves lineup, especially when they go into the bullpen and have the right pieces to attack those guys. I think having Ronald's bat in there is a massive difference maker. Where you put him on the field, it's either right field or DH. And I think I like the way that they can do that because I like the idea of him getting some days off of his feet where he can just bat. We know that he's injury prone. He has a hard time staying on the field. And the more time he spends splitting between right field and DH, maybe it's beneficial for his legs.
How benefit? Just what kind of? Just I see the electricity of Dubon on the field. What is he like off the field?
One of the best teammates you could imagine. And I'm not just saying that because I'm on the air right now. I'd tell you if he was an average teammate. From what I witnessed, he is such a chemistry/glue guy for a clubhouse because he's always thinking about winning. He's consumed with winning. He talks about winning all the time. I remember one conversation we had on the plane. We're on the way back from L.A. We had just taken 2 out of 3 from the Dodgers. And he said, "You were here in 2021, right?" I said, "Yeah, absolutely." He said, "How does this compare to that?" Because he said, "I'm trying to compare this in my mind to what he experienced with the Astros in 2022 and what a special bunch in his mind they had there in Houston." And I think more than anything, he was just trying to dive into chemistry, winning chemistry, what that means, what that really looks like. Because it's not the easiest thing to find. It's not the easiest thing to put together. Sometimes it's just a secret sauce that stays a secret that nobody can really put their finger on. But I love that he's infatuated with that. And he loves to talk about the game and the different positions that he plays. And to be quite honest, I've found him to be one of the more delightful members that we've had on our team in a while. That's not anything negative against anybody else. That's just how positive he is and how enjoyable he is to be around.
Schedule-wise, what we're about 49 games left, somewhere in that neighborhood. How do you think the schedule shakes out? I know the Marlins, this is a fairly long homestand before heading to New York this weekend, but then coming right back to play the Mets. But schedule-wise, how do you think this lines up for the Braves?
Well, to me, August is very favorable because you have so many home dates. We're in a stretch right now where 13 of 16 games are at home. That's always big, but I think especially this time of year, nobody's at 100%. Nobody's at 90%. August is a tiring time of the year. And we lost 2 off days in August to rainouts that we have to make up for. Rather than have an off day on the 20th, we have to go to Chicago to face the White Sox. Rather than have an off day on the 31st, we play at home against the Giants. Travel has been interesting this season from the standpoint of multiple getaway days from leaving Atlanta where we're playing night games. And we're getting to the next city at 3 o'clock in the morning with a game that night. That's been puzzling to me, and I know it's been puzzling to some of the players, but business is what business is. And, we got to fill the stadium. So you get to August, and it's good to have way more home games than not. You got these 3 games in New York on the road. Then we have a pretty lengthy trip for about a week there with the Minnesota White Sox makeup and then the Brewers. But you got the Dodgers at home. You have the Mets at home. You have the Diamondbacks at home. This series with the Marlins at home. That puts you in a really good position. And I think the idea is to maintain what you currently built over the last 3 weeks. And that, as it stands now, is a 7.5 game lead on the Phillies. We don't see the Phillies until the first week of September. But once we see them, we will see them 7 times in a span of about 10 days. And that really makes you appreciate what they're able to accomplish against the Phillies back in April, taking 5 out of 6 games head-to-head. To me, that's been the springboard, and we haven't seen them since then. So if you can maintain somewhere between a a 5 and 10 game lead going into September, I think that gives you a great opportunity to finish this thing off, win a division, and give yourself your best opportunity come October.
You circled the part of the schedule that I circled, and that is at Philadelphia, home against the Rays, home against the Phillies, at Chicago taking on the Cubs, then at the Astros. I mean, that 2-week span right there, to me, feels like you know what you're going to have. And then you finish out, I believe, with the Reds and Marlins. But it's that 2-week span right there feels like, okay, what kind of team is this down the stretch?
Well, and it really emphasizes those games with the Phillies. I mean, we do that going in. But if you could have yourself between a 5 and 8 game lead or better versus the Phillies before you see them on September the 4th, right there dictates the entire division, because if that's the case and you split those games, you still feel really good.
Yeah.
But if it's a 3 or 4 game lead and the Phillies, let's say they win 5 of those 7 games, then you're kind of reeling. I mean, you might have lost the lead by then. Either way, it's really close. And you, like you said, you face playoff caliber teams in Tampa Bay, Chicago, and Houston, all consecutively. So I think what you do leading up to that, it's kind of like when people say, okay, well, how do you beat the Nationals? Well, you get the guys out in front of James Wood. How do you beat the Mets? Well, you get the guys out in front of Juan Soto. In other words, they're coming to the plate with the bases empty. It's the same thing when you're talking about the Phillies. You've got to take care of business leading up to that series to where you've got a little bit of rope going in. And you're open. And look, if you play 500 baseball, you don't lose any ground, and those are just more days off the calendar. So what you do over the next month, I mean, that first game of the Phillies is a month from today. I think this next month is going to be critical for the team.
I know, but at least this team has set themselves up to have this conversation. I know there's a lot of disgruntled Braves fans after what happened yesterday, Ben, but at least this team, I'm with you, has overperformed and has set themselves up to see what they can do down the stretch.
Yeah, they have. And it's been best case scenario, if you ask me. I didn't expect this. I thought they'd be a contender. I thought they'd be fighting for a wild card. I kind of felt like the Mets and the Phillies might have been the teams to beat in the division. But here you are. And the team has overperformed, and that's been great. I just hope that they can finish this thing off.
I wanted to end with Brewer Hicklin just because he is in our neighborhood up here in Huntsville, and he and his family, I've gotten to know them over the years, and I don't know how much you've interacted with Brewer, but Brewer has pointed out to me, though, Ben, every single time he was in the lineup, the Braves won. So that might be the secret formula. Just find a spot for Brewer Hicklin.
Yeah, that's the only stat that matters. I don't care about homers and RBIs and slugging. The only stat I care about is wins. So if that's what it means, then put him on the mound if need be, whatever it takes.
Have you had a chance to get to know Brewer and his brief stint?
Yeah, great individual. I just spent a little bit of time with him around the cage, and just an incredibly nice guy, and a guy who certainly appreciates everything that's happened for him here lately. And I just love the fact that he's been able to spend some time in that clubhouse.
And one final thought, something that you told me, this was about a year ago, that it just blew my mind, and I've looked at pitchers completely different, of comparing them to running backs in the National Football League. And it's so true, of especially how hard these guys are throwing. It does feel like that the Nolan Ryans of the day, and I know that's a one-off more than anything, Ben, but it's those long starters, the Rick Mahlers of the world. I know I'm kind of dating myself, but those guys in particular, I just don't know if investing long-term money into those arms is a smart idea moving forward just as a whole, but I know there's a bigger picture question as to whether or not we're even going to play baseball next year.
Yeah, sure. I mean, those are, man, I don't expect to start even getting any kind of traction or answers on that until we get into March of next year, to be quite honest. I know it's going to be an off season filled with people asking about next year, but there's just no way we could possibly know anything until we get into probably March. But yeah, I mean, if you're evaluating starting pitchers, you can't paint with a broad brush. I think you have to really evaluate the individual. I mean, some guys are cut out for this, and if you can find guys who are going to be your Logan Webbs who give you 200 or more innings, guys like that. That to me is where value comes. I feel like innings are as big a statistic for value for a pitcher as anything in this day and age. So I'd imagine every team evaluates slightly different and values that slightly differently. But if you come across guys who can do that, I think that's where you have to invest your money.
Well, I always appreciate the time, sir. Have a good call here this evening with against the Marlins, and we'll see how this thing shakes out because the Braves have certainly set themselves up quite well since I don't know about you, but I was a tad bit nervous when it got down to 2 games.
Yeah, I think we all were. So it's been a good stretch lately, especially since the All-Star break, and hopefully the next time we're talking about them counting down the magic number and about to clinch the division. That would be great.
Absolutely. Thank you, Ben.
You got it. Thank you.